Okay, we're in section 76. Every section pretty much looks the same in the beginning, right? We have contents for you to read over, examples for you to consider, and then exercises for you to do. My name is Ron Bannon. This is a draft version of my adaptation of Webster Wells' Advanced Course in Algebra, which dates back to 1904. The PDF document that you're looking at here is being made available to the Prison Mathematics Project participants only. At some point in the future, it will be published. If you're a student or teacher interested in this, my name is Bannon. My email address is Bannon. Let me write that down for you. B, as in boy, the @ symbol, NNON.US. All right? So, again, reach out to me and I'll let you know when it's going to get published. Right now, it's not published, though. Right? So, you're looking at this here, and that doesn't mean it's published. So, looking at this over here, I want to point out, talking about arithmetic means, yeah, we expect you to read through that. Of course, when I do problems, I'm going to talk through it, of course, but as I do these problems over here, me talking through it doesn't mean you read the section. You might say, I'd just rather have you talk through it. No, read the section and then me talk through it. So I want to point out an arithmetic sequence. If I were writing that down, let me put this over here. I give myself some room over here. Would be something like this, where I'm going to say first term is A, and then, maybe I should write that down. This is A1, A2. Well, if it's arithmetic, it means they have a common difference, which means the next term would be A plus D. And then the next term, this would be A3, would be A plus 2D. And eventually get to the nth term, right? What would you get up there? A plus, well, I want to kind of make sure you know 1 has no D's, 2 has 1 D, 3 has 2 D's. So n would have n minus 1 D's. So I got a formula. AN is equal to the first term, A1, plus n minus 1 D. That's important for arithmetic. All right? Now, what's the other important one? Summing them together. I'll write this down for you, and that's called SN. SN is going to be A1 plus A2. I'll derive the formula again. I know we've done it before. And then we stop at AN. And what's that going to be? Well, it's A1 plus, well, let's put the next term down, right? It's going to be A1 plus D plus A1 plus 2D plus yada, 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 up to A1 plus N minus 1D. All right, I realize let's look at this, and you ask me this question, how many terms are there? And you get sometimes really ridiculous answers. Someone says, oh, there's 1. Whoops, sorry about that. They'll say, oh, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. No. You got this over here. What does it mean? There's a lot of missing space over there. How many terms do we have? N terms. So if I were to write that down, I'll write this down for you. Sn would equal, well, that'd be n times A1. Each term has A1 in it. And then you get the sum, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus yada, 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 all up to n minus 1. Now, certainly we've covered this many times before, and I'm hoping you remember. But if you don't remember, easy enough to derive. And what I mean by that, if you sum the numbers from 1 to n, we've actually done this. It turned out to be n plus 1 over 2. Well, here I'm summing the numbers not from 1 to n, but 1 to what? Up to n minus 1, right? What do you get over there? N minus 1 n over 2. I'll write that down for you. So Sn equals NA1 plus, let's remind us, that's going to be n minus 1 over n, times n over 2. That doesn't look right, though, does it? I guess I have to do more work. Get back to what we had before, right? So Sn, and I'm going to put a 2 down. I want to combine the two terms together. I'm going to factor out an n. You would get 2A1, which is A1 plus A1, plus, oh, you know what? I forgot to do something over here. I'm sorry about that. That's a D. Sorry about that. my mistake. Let me point out what I mean by that. There's D's here. I just spaced out. And so A1 plus A1, there's two of them. And then there's going to be n minus 1D. Well, this is where a famous formula comes from. There's a 2 there, n, A1. And what's this guy over here? It's just AN. All right? So there's two really important formulas. Let me put SN down for you. Now, I realize some students say, I can't remember all the stuff you're giving me. That's fine. We can always rederive it. So let's take a look at this one over here. I want to tell you when I'm reading it, I need to understand what they're asking for. And I'll write this down for you. Now, the way I do it, the way Wells does it, it's going to look different, but they're really the same. So I'm going to put this over here. The first number in the sequence is 3. But now what they got 5 terms. You know what? I'm running out of room already. Let me just erase that. And I'll put this down really carefully. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they said there's 5 of them in between these two numbers over here. Now, so they want me to insert them in. Now, what I know about this over here is I know I'm going to just call this like some A. I'm going to call it A1. Doesn't matter what it is, by the way. And then, I'm just going to, kind of count over as I do that. And whatever this is, it would be 3 plus D, 3 plus 2D, 3 plus, 4, I'm sorry. I'm really screwing up here. Let me erase. 3 plus 3D. You don't have to write that. I'm just going through what you got, 4D, 3 plus 5D, and this would be what? 3 plus 6D. Let me write that down. So minus 5 would be equal to 3 plus 6D. That's not so bad, right? Of course, when I write this down, I'm going to try to figure out what D is now. D is important, because if I know D, I know all those terms in between. So this would be minus 8 is 6D. I would divide both sides by 6. You're going to get D equals minus 8/6. Well, I like to write that a little simpler. That's going to be minus 4/3, right? Now, of course, when I do this over here, I need to write everything in the same denominator. So I'm going to write it down for you. So the first term would be what? It would be 9/3. The very next term, all I'm doing is adding this on. What does that give me? 5/3. We'll check it with the key later. The very next term would be 1/3. The very next term would be minus 3/3. I'm just adding minus 4/3 on each time. The very next term would be minus 7/3. The very next term would be minus 11/3. Let me see. Did I do something wrong? 9/3, 5/3, 1/3, minus 3/3. Ooh, I made a mistake. Let me see where my mistake is. Minus 5, minus 11/3. I think my answer key is a mistake, by the way. Minus 15/3. Let's write these down. I think there's a mistake in my answer key. 9/3, 5/3, 1/3, minus 1, minus 7/3, minus 11/3, and minus 15/3 is minus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, there's an error in my key, probably from typing. I have to check this. This is the correct answer over here, though. These are the 5 arithmetic means that I'm putting in between. All right, so let's just take a look, see if I've done okay. Did I copy something wrong? I don't think so. Let me see if I got the right D. I did this. And let me see, 5/3. Let me see where the error is. 1/3 minus 1. And I think, yeah, I copied wrong. And it's right over here, I copied wrong. So I got to correct this. That's easy to do. You're not going to see that, by the way, but that's correct answer listed over there. Let me go then. Oh, look at that. There's no more questions, and that's really good news. All right, but I got to correct that, and I'll correct that right now. But the bottom line is there's exercises for you to get through, plenty of problems for you to look at. What I recommend is just doing what I just did. Look at the work. Hopefully there's no errors. But again, if there's an error, please correct it. Let me know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get the idea? 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 questions. Get to this age. I'll be real quick here. Computer algebra system. CAS for short. It's open source. That's the website. You can download it, interactive web application. You can type this code in if you like. Bottom line, not too interested in that. I'm interested if you see any errors, please reach out to me. Again, my email address is Bannon, that's B as in boy, the @ symbol, NNON.US. All right, thank you so much for listening.